we had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young, we were broke, we didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. All right, guys, how you doing?
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. WinAnyway episode 35, and we have a special guest today. As you can see, this big, buff, handsome man. There you go. Amen.
Hey.
Thank you. That just took our view count up by about 100%.
Yes.
So,
You know, my wife wanted a tall, dark, and handsome. I give her 1.5 out of 3.
I love it. Well, hey, you guys, we got Sam Bakhtiar on here, who you already know. We don't need to introduce him, although we will.
Yes.
And what an honor it is, huh?
Know. Yeah, it's definitely an honor. This is our first time interviewing someone on the podcast.
Yes.
And so this is a big deal for us. And honestly, I couldn't think of anybody better. So this is exciting.
Yeah, if you're going to start with the top.
Right. Yeah.
And so Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to be on here. It means a lot to us.
No, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me.
So you guys, some of you know Sam's background. I want to dive right in because I don't want to waste any time. But as you know, he's the CEO of the Camp Transformation Center, which is something that I actually really enjoy. I took my dad there, Sam. I'll tell you that story, but I took my dad to the camp out in Chino, I think towards the very beginning. Also runs a podcast called 1%er. And he's a doctor in chiropractic, CEO of 1% Nutrition. And check this out, 23, if I'm right, major bodybuilding titles in his career in weightlifting. And if I'm 100% correct, in every weight class or all the way across the board. And the only person to do that. And just has a powerful story, which I'm not going to talk about a lot because I want him to talk about it. But what a representation of just tenacity, entrepreneurship, whatever it takes, getting it done, and really at the end of the day, winning anyway, no matter what. So let's dive in. We got some questions, Sam. We want to get to know you, man. I know people know you. You're all over the internet. People know you from the camp. Yes. They know you all over social media. Social media, just a guru, just dominating on Instagram and influencing and making a difference and removing all excuses, which is something that I love. And just someone who started from very humble beginnings and started from nothing. But Sam, tell us, first question for you is, we read your story. We've studied your story. We follow all your information and all the content you put out. But you've done a lot. You've accomplished a lot. We know that you've had highs, you've had lows, as everybody has. And with that being said, why do you think you never stopped? Why have you never stopped? What's made you continue to go and push from one thing to another and never really give up in those times? What's your story?
That's a very good question. And I didn't know the answer to that question up until literally about a month ago. I was trying to figure out what made me have that tenacity, what made me have that relentless pursuit of not giving up. And I remember when I came to America, everybody knows the story that who follows me or watch any of my stuff. I was 11 years old. We came to America from a third world country. We were from Iran. We're getting bombed on there for Saddam Hussein, and we were coming to America. And I thought, when I was coming to America, I thought I was coming to Beverly Hills because I was watching these TV shows. Back then, they didn't have the internet. Back then, there were shows like Dallas Dynasty and the A-Team. You guys are probably way too young to know about that. But it was like the Kardashians of today. Okay. So these people were rich, and they were like, had Olympic-sized swimming pools, and they had Bentleys and Cadillacs, and so I thought America was like that. That was my research as a kid, And we came to a little town called Sharon in the state of Pennsylvania, which is in the middle of nowhere. It's in the boonies, And I went to school to 7th grade, to enroll in 7th grade, and I didn't speak the language. I didn't have any friends. I wasn't black. I wasn't white. I was the only minority in the entire school. So talking about, being picked on and called names and bullied and beat up and all that kind of stuff. So I remember I wanted to play football, and they were like, football. And I'm like, That's weird. I'm like, this country is weird. I know I don't know the language, but I know this is the foot. I'm like, no, so they said, no, what you're talking about is called soccer. And we don't have a soccer team. Soccer in Sharon, Pennsylvania in 1985. Nobody's heard of soccer. And so I was devastated. I was, you're 11 years old, no friends, no language. You get made fun of because your haircut, your clothes is different. And so I tried out for the basketball team. I didn't know anything about football or baseball. And I'll never forget, I tried out for the basketball team. There was 23 people that tried out. 22 people made it. Yours truly was the only one that didn't make it. And I literally walked in the snow that day, 3 miles home, cried the whole time. Cried the whole time. Went to my room. My mom came and said, "What happened?" I said, "Mom, I didn't make the team. I don't like this country. I wanted to go home. Back then I have friends. I have soccer. Nobody's making fun of me. I was somebody cool back home, but I'm not cool here." And my mom sat me down and said 3 things that forever changed my life. She said, "Sam," she goes, "Sam, first of all, we can't go back to the old country. We came here as refugees, right? And that means that we can't go back. We escaped the country." So that right there taught me something in life, that sometimes you got to burn the boats. You don't have to give yourself an option. When you have options, man, you fully go all in on one thing. So right there and then, that concept, burn the boats, was right in me, right at 11 years old. Like, no, I have no choice. This is what I got to do, right? The next thing she told me was, "Sam, do you really want to play basketball? Is that what you want to do?" I said, "Mom, I got to play a sport. I don't know anything about football or baseball, so basketball it is. I want to play basketball." She goes, "Okay, Sam, you can be or do whatever you want to do in life, as long as you're willing to put in the work. Are you willing to put in the work?" I said, "I'm willing to do whatever it takes." She goes, "Okay." Then the third thing that she taught me about, managing my time and putting a plan together. So her plan was this: "Sam, you get out of school at 2:15. At 2:15, it's going to take you 15, 20 minutes to walk to Boys Club, which is a mile away. You walk to the Boys Club at 2:30. From 2:30 to 5 o'clock, you practice basketball. And at that time, after I get off work, I'll come pick you up. We go do homework. You get dinner. You go to bed. And you do this until you get better at basketball so you can try out next year." So that was what I found to be relentless. When things get tough, I don't give myself an option, right? I'm sit down and be like, okay, what do I need to do to make this happen? And how can I equate that to a daily schedule to make sure this happens? So my mom was the person that kind of embedded that in me.
At such a young age.
Yeah. So from early on, you learned how to handle adversity by taking action, sitting down, going, all right, there's no pity party. It's what can I do to move forward?
Yeah. Don't have time for anybody.
Yeah. As adults, I feel like some of us are, just learning how to do that.
Right. Like, Sam, in our industry, that we work in, and a lot of people within our industry, a lot of people, this is their first time at entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. It's their first time. They, in most cases, grew up in the United States. They haven't had that experience that you have. And this is their first run at trying to do something that is going to require a lot of work, and is going to require a lot of ups and downs.
Some rejection.
And that was something that you learned from the very beginning, which is powerful.
I think adversity, builds character. And to me, obstacle is not in the way. Obstacle is the way.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. One of the things when Ronnie and I were talking about your story and we were just studying you, which, by the way, you guys, if you're watching, this is a great dude to study.
Absolutely. Yes.
And he's had success in so many areas. And one of the things that Ronnie brought up to me was that you've had success in so many different fields, most of which you had no experience in coming into. These were areas that you just kind of, got an idea or you just kind of landed in. and then became an expert at and became a master at. Kind of walk us through that, because a lot of, especially for us, we want to learn from you. We have people that they're coming into our industry in finance and leadership, right? And they're trying to master something that they didn't go to school for. They're trying to master something that their parents were terrible at.
And maybe they're terrible at themselves when they first get here.
Yeah, exactly. Someone comes in our industry, they're 20 grand in debt. They have no retirement. They have no savings, and they're trying to become an expert in this. And these are things that you've done over and over again. Like when you went to the Boys and Girls Club, you said, all right, I'm going to learn something that these kids have been doing for the last 10 years of their life. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start working out so that I become a better athlete. I get stronger. It's going to give me an edge. That's going to be my edge. And you've been doing that your whole life. How does someone do that? How does someone dive into something as an adult when they have already 25 to 30 years of habits and beliefs that are already embedded in their mind, and start something from scratch and have the tenacity and the mental fortitude to do that?
I can sit here and say all that I want to say. It's easier said than done. Right. It's hard to go back and rewire your hard drive, because, you if you've done something for so many years, you build with some bad habits, and it's hard to get rid of bad habits over so many, many years, So the best way to get rid of a bad habit is start a new habit and concentrate on one day at a time with that new habit. Let me tell you what bad habits are like. Have you ever been in the snow? Mm-hmm. Have you seen snow? Mm-hmm. So when you go where there's a lot of snow, so for example, you go to Big Bear or you go to Aspen or you see a lot of snow, right? A bad habit is that path that whenever it's brand new snow and you take a path, you make a path, right? If you take it one time, it's just a light path. If you keep taking it over and over and over and over again, that path becomes solid pathway, right? And that's what a bad habit is. The only way to get rid of that is to build a new path and keep doing the new path slowly and surely over again, and abandon that path. And pretty soon after that path then fills back up with new snow and that path is gone. Okay. But it takes relentless effort, and you need to be conscious of it. And you need to figure out what are the triggers of that bad habit for you to be able to stay away from those triggers. And because I can sit down here and preach all I can about it. It's easier said than done, but anything can be done with conscious effort.
And what's that look like? So if I'm starting to make some of those habits, you said it comes down obviously daily. So what's the daily routine when you were starting the business, for example, the camp, and you're getting that thing off the ground and you're building that from the very beginning? You're starting that from day one. The daily effort, the daily routine, the daily conscious thought, where this thing becomes your baby. A lot of times people go, how do I separate business from personal? How do I separate, my personal life from trying to get the business off the ground? But it's that daily effort to create those habits. You wake up in the morning. What's that look like in your head?
Look, for me, first of all, balance is a myth. Okay. Nothing great was ever done with balance in life.
Oh, so good.
Do you think the Wright brothers had balance? Do you think, the president of the United States has balance? Do you think anybody, Thomas Edison, had balance? Do you think, Elon Musk has balance? You know what I mean? In my opinion, balance is something you earn over time. Balance is not given. Balance is not, balance is earned. So when somebody's trying to balance everything at one time, when they really haven't achieved anything, then they really become not good at anything. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in a point in my life where I achieved balance, because I busted my ass to get here.
Right.
I've worked, 12, 18-hour days for years and years and years and years to be able to say, hey, man, maybe today I don't feel like doing anything. I'm just going to go to the beach with my friends and family. This is what I want to do. So for somebody starting out, I think the most important thing is come up with your daily ritual. Come up with a daily ritual. I mean, I have a daily ritual every single day, and I wholeheartedly believe that all your awakening hours need to be all filled out. White spaces on a calendar is the devil. Every time that I got in trouble because I had too much time on my hands. I got into something I wasn't supposed to. I had too much time on my hand. I was overthinking stuff I was doing. So I keep myself busy with what I call HABU. HABU is my acronym with highest and the best use of my time. So these days, the way I want to spend my time is exactly in this order. Provide for the family, spend time with the family, and stay healthy so I can do 1 and 2. Right? So every awakening hour is based on that. Now, for example, provide for the family has time. For me, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., that's where I concentrate 100% on work, things that needs to be done, be able to do that. From 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. is 100% family time. And from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., 100% for my physical fitness and my health. And if you fill your calendar up, your schedule up with highest and the best use activities, then you don't have time to think about the bullshit and your bad habits and all that kind of stuff. I don't have time to think about, what bad habits are because I'm too busy following what I need to follow.
Right. I love that.
That's awesome.
So good.
Yeah. And one of the things that we were reading about in your story is that obviously with any success story, but yours especially, it wasn't a clear path. You got here to the United States and now, you're who you are, right? Without any, bumps or adversaries or anything like that. You've had, your ups and your downs. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you was, you're an educated person. You went to school. You're a chiropractor, correct?
Correct.
And so at the times, because sometimes, our people hear this a lot, sometimes when you went through, adversities, I'm having trouble saying that word. Adversities. Did you ever get from people, but hey, you're a doctor, you're a chiropractor. Why don't you just be a chiropractor? Why pursue going into business? Why pursue opening up, a gym or the camp or anything like that? Did you ever get that?
Of course, man. I mean, I got that from my mom and my family. My mom was like, "You're a doctor." She's an old school Middle Eastern lady. She's a doctor. What do you mean you're going to open up a gym? So my mom, to this day, now she's okay with it after 20 years. But I got but yeah, I mean, again, when you want something out of your life, you kind of got to burn the boats. Yeah, I never gave myself that option. When the recession happened in 2008, when the gyms were like, not doing well, even right now with COVID-19 and everything else like that, everybody's like, oh my God, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Look, I love health and fitness. This is not fake. I'm not a character on the internet trying to sell you, training and stuff like that. This is what I do.
Right.
I mean, this is what I do every single day, and it's hard for me to do anything that I don't love and I'm not passionate about. I'm passionate about health and fitness. I'm passionate about transforming people's lives through health and fitness. And that to me gives me so much more joy, than doing anything else.
I love it. Sam, I took my dad back in the day. Geez, I don't know how long
years ago.
My dad, love my dad. My dad was gaining a bunch of weight. And I'm like, oh man, come on.
Oh man.
Like, let's do something about this now while you still can. You know what I mean? And so I had actually got referred, a buddy of mine who I think Christopher Schleiman, had said a lot of good things about you.
He just came and he just bought one of my Pelotons.
There you go. He had said a lot of good things about you.
Good dude.
And referred me to someone who used to work with you, who speaks very, very, very highly of you. So I called her up. I went and I sat down and I told her, I said, hey, I'm bringing my dad out to the camp. And she said, oh, okay, yeah, come on by. I said, no, hold on. You don't understand. He doesn't know that I'm taking him.
He doesn't know where he's going.
He doesn't know. And so I called my mom and I said, Mom, I need your credit card. And she's like, what do you mean? For what? And I said, I need your credit card because I'm going to register Dad at this place called the camp. And so I take my dad's credit card. I call her. I pay for it over the phone. I said, I want to pay over the phone because I don't want him to have a choice. She's like, okay. So we go, me and my dad are the same name, so no big deal, right? Register my dad for the camp. I call my dad. I take him out to your location in Chino and I sit him down. I say, hey, so this is what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Your employee, she's giving him a tour. My dad's like, there's no way. I'm not doing it. I'm like, oh, no, you're doing it. I already paid for it. And he's like, well, too bad. And I said, no. I paid for it with your money. And he's like, are you kidding me? And my dad was so pissed. Someone yelling at him, come on, let's go, hurry up. He was so upset. And by the fourth day, he absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. He finished it, dropped his 20 pounds, and then decided instead of getting his money back, he was going to roll it back in and do it again because he loved it so much. Here's my point in telling you this. Why do you think people will do it for the money, but not for their health?
This is such a great question, because this was $1 million question for me too, until I called my mentor, the great Bill Phillips. If you guys might be too young to know Bill Phillips, but in the hierarchy of fitness, the godfather of fitness in America is Jack LaLanne. Then after that is Bill Phillips. Jack LaLanne, and then there's Bill Phillips. Bill Phillips is somebody who had a magazine called Muscle Media 2000. He's the father of transformation, father of before and after pictures, and the founder of EAS Supplement Company, which later on he sold for $200 million. So when I first started the 6-week challenge, all I wanted to do is get a bunch of before and after pictures for the new website. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm going to train 20 people for free, but they have to exchange. They got to lose the 20 pounds and they got to, give me their before and after pictures. So 20 people came. Out of 20 people, only 2 people finished. Wow. The other 18 disappeared. Like I would text them. They wouldn't even text me back. They were so embarrassed. I would call them. I remember one time I went going to a restaurant. So one of them saw me and they ran on the back of the other door because they were so embarrassed because because I couldn't understand when somebody come in on Monday telling me, "Oh my God, I'm sick and tired of being overweight and I want to lose weight. I don't feel good. All that kind of stuff. All that story. Then Tuesday they don't show up. Right. It used to bug me, right? And now I did all this work for 20 people. I only got 2 before and after pictures. I was really livid. I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I was on the verge of quitting the fitness industry because I knew how to get people in shape. But I couldn't change their mindset. Right. And you can't get in shape without changing this first. Right. So I picked up the phone and called my great friend, Bill Phillips. And I said, Bill, what is going on? He goes, Sam, you don't know? He goes, I have multi-million dollar friends who have a doctor's notes from their doctor that they're overweight, diabetic, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. They need to lose weight. They have all the money in the world and they don't do it. But I tell them, hey, by the way, if you do it, I'll give you this cool t-shirt. And they're all about it. Yeah. and these guys can buy 1 million t-shirts if they wanted to. She goes, Sam, people are motivated by a prize.
Wow.
And so that's when I came up with an idea of, hey, you guys, your prize is you pay for the program. Your prize is you get your money back, but you got to do the work. Mm-hmm. By switching that, our success rate went up. Mm. People got in shape. Now we're, a couple of 100,000 people have gone through the program, lost weight, probably, over 1 million pounds lost.
So crazy.
In your experience, how would you say people can transfer over that knowledge into another industry? Like, let's say, their career, their business, because obviously for fitness, they can go to your gym, they can go work out, they can have that incentive that'll help motivate them. But how can they do that for themselves when they're trying to do something, outside of the fitness world?
So what done with myself. I give myself goals, and I give myself goals and what I call rewards or punishment. Again, let me give you an example. So when I owned my personal training company, we had one location. I was in the trenches. We were just starting out. I was like 2-3 years into business. And our goal, I think, was like to do $50,000 that month. And I told my manager, and I said, Armando, I said, if you do $50,000 this month, as a reward, what we'll do is we'll take the crew on a limo, we go out to dinner and have a good time. But the punishment will be that if we don't hit the goal, we got to run a 5K. Now, we're bodybuilders, and bodybuilders don't do cardio at all. One block of running to a bodybuilder is like the worst, like the most death sentence. You know what I mean? So guess what? We didn't hit our goal. So now we have to do 5K. And I'm like dreading because I'm not a runner. Back then I was like 200 pounds, all muscle, but no cardio at all. Yeah, we did that. So the answer to your question is come up with a reward and punishment.
So good.
For yourself. If you hit a certain goal, if you set a certain milestone, if you hit it, you're going to get this goal. If you don't hit it, you're going to do that. When I first started, check this out. When I first started the program, the 60 20 pound challenge, I was trying to figure out a way to motivate people. And there was this African-American lady that came in and she wanted to lose weight. And I said, look, you don't even have to pay me. Here's what you got to do though. If you don't hit your goal, I want you to donate $500 to the Ku Klux Klan. And she was like, what? I'm like, I'm no joke. Because I want you to hurt if you don't hit your goal. And she was like, guess what? She didn't want to donate to the Klan. So she lost the weight.
That's so crazy. Yeah. Your gym was just such a genius concept.
Yeah,
and I was listening to one of your other interviews where you were talking about how it's crazy how all these people like who had an opportunity to train with you. Because in my head, I'm like, I want to go train with them. So, but all these people that just wouldn't do it, and in our industry, it's the same thing. They won't do it for money. Like they can make 10, 15, 20, 30 grand a month. They won't do it. And then we throw out a t-shirt and all of a sudden I'm like,
right. Yeah.
What the freaking heck?
One thing that I love about WFG is that, the culture is a constant and never ending improvement.
Right.
It comes from the top up. Now, I'm not saying everybody does that.
Right.
It's the culture, and, I love the organization, that, everybody's preaching personal development. Everybody's preaching fitness. Everybody's preaching faith, and all the right tools, not for somebody to just make money, but also to be around the right people, right environment, and do the right things in life. I love World Financial Group. I think they're doing an amazing job. They're changing people's lives, and the culture is amazing.
Yeah, I agree, especially for us because we didn't grow up I grew up in a great family, but we didn't grow up in a entrepreneurship environment that preaches self-development and self-improvement. Sam, in that though, I think just like in your fitness world, is a lot of people, they'll come in, they'll drop the 20 pounds, they'll drop 30 pounds, but it doesn't mean that it lasts. How does someone, I'm always inspired by bodybuilders because they're so dang big.
It's discipline.
And it's so much discipline. It's so much work. I think people who have that mentality that can get their body to that point, they could succeed in anything. That's self-motivation, that's self-discipline. What's the science behind permanent achievement and permanent change and making that something that sticks with you, becomes part of your lifestyle? For you, it's part of your lifestyle. It wasn't a trend. It wasn't, hey, I'm just going to get in shape for basketball.
Yeah, it's not, fitness plan. It's part of who you are.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is, like you said, you have to build it into your lifestyle. You have to build it as a part of your schedule. You got to make it a non-negotiable at first. look, like, everybody thinks that I'm some kind of a broccoli eating cyborg. Like I don't, I'll like eating salads and work out and stuff like that. It's nothing's further from the truth. Nothing. I like burritos. I like hamburgers. I like stuff. You know what I mean? But I learned to be able to, do things at the right time in the right way. The first couple of years, did I want to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning? No, I didn't want to get up in the morning. To this day, sometimes, man, I don't feel like, I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. It's still dark outside. You know what I mean? I'm like, Sam, come on, man. You're 47. Who do you got to prove to anybody? But I know now that if I don't work out, it's a guaranteed bad day. Mm-hmm. It's now I know I'm not mentally clear. I'm not about, oh man, I want my arms to be 21 inches anymore. That's back in the day. Now I'm about how can I be mentally clear? How can I be as effective as possible? How can I be on this podcast right now and bring the most amount of energy and not be like, yawn if I didn't work out. Right. So you got to build it. Anything that's worth doing is worth putting it on your schedule and making it non-negotiable. And over time, that just becomes part of you. If I don't work out, there's like 2 or 3 times in a year span, during a year that I don't work out and it's a bad day. I'm literally lethargic. And
you're working out 7 days a week?
Yeah. Everybody says, Sam, how many days should we work out? How many days should we work out? I ask them, hey, how many days do you breathe? How many days, how many days do you eat? How many days, do you pee? So, and working out is not about, okay, man, let me go, just lift this crazy amount of weight and kill myself. No, working out is movement. Think about it. 300-400 years ago, if you want to eat, you have to exercise. You have to go catch the chicken.
All right.
You have to go run around and be able to get. So food was built into this, exercise was built into the food system. And today, I work out like 5 days a week. And on Saturday and Sundays, I go for a walk. I go for a 2-mile walk with a dog. That's my workout. You know what I mean? But movement is life. You're not supposed to like sit here in front of the computer and all of a sudden dominoes appear out of nowhere.
Right.
That's how the disease sets in. That's how all the bad things sets in. Your body's not designed that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask you, what do you believe is the impact that physical fitness, that working out has in an entrepreneur's life? How important is that?
I don't think an entrepreneur can reach their full potential being out of shape. I can't, you do. You don't got to walk around with a 6-pack ab. I'm not saying that. But you got to exercise and you got to move. I don't care if you're 300 pounds. I don't care I don't care what. If you don't exercise daily and you don't attempt to keep your body in shape, your mind is not in shape. It's connected.
Yeah. And some of the biggest people now, athletes, they're businessmen now. They're businessmen. And then the biggest businessmen are athletes now. I think it's crazy how the correlation between the athlete entrepreneur and the entrepreneur athlete. Or, even golfers are weightlifting now. You have so many people, it's become the thing.
You guys know more than anyone, being an entrepreneur can be stressful at times. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not like, okay, you clock in, you clock out, you make a certain amount of money. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of things you got to control. There's a lot of unknown, and the best way to get rid of tension, to get rid of stress is by exercise. Exercise literally is medicine. When you exercise, you release natural endorphins, you release natural enkephalins, and you feel good. You know what our secret is? You know what our secret is in the fitness industry? If I have somebody that I want to close for a gym membership because I'm trying to save their life, but they're being resistant, you know what I do first? Hey, come try the class. Mm-hmm. Guess what happens? They try the class, the heart gets pumping, and endorphins and enkephalins go in. Now they're like, oh, I feel good. Do you want to sign up? Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened with my dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the oldest trick in the book.
It starts to work and then it becomes addicting.
It's like the puppy dog clothes for the fitness industry.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let me ask you this. A lot of people would say that you have in a lot of people's, worlds, if they had experienced your level of success, they would say that this is the ultimate peak of success, know? So let me ask you, why don't you stop? Most people would say, oh yeah, this is good. This is good enough. So why isn't, good enough good enough?
It depends what your definition of success is. My definition of success used to be material stuff, right? And because I was born in literally poverty, you know what I mean? And we came to the United States very poor, $500 on luggage. So, I grew up in a very poor town. So, when I thought about success, I thought about, the mansion and the exotic cars and, nice watches and nice clothes and stuff like that. And when I got there, when I finally, after years of putting in work, got everything that I thought what success was, there was an empty feeling. I was still not happy, and then I found out that I'm not really driven by material possessions, because if it was, I've achieved everything. I don't need a bigger house, man. I mean, there's rooms that I've never been into in this house, pretty much. I don't need more cars, man. There's cars that, like, I forget which one's registered and which one needs maintenance and, that kind of stuff. I don't need anything else. What I do need is becoming a better version of myself. And so success to me is progression. Success to me is moving forward. And if money is one of them, then by all means, I don't want to go backwards.
Right.
But, financially, I'm okay. Now, how can I get better and become a best Sam Bakhtiar? We know Ed, Ed Milet, and he said something that's always, always stood out to me. And he said that when you die, you want to make sure before you go to pearly gates, you make the best version of yourself, nothing less than that.
Right.
And that makes so much sense to me, and that's what I strive to do every day. Strive every day to get better at my fitness, become a better family man, become better financially, become closer to God, and become, just being more of a contributing member of the society.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that you think someone entering entrepreneurship in their 30s and their 40s, sometimes in their 50s and 60s, they worked a job their whole life. They've been 9 to 5. That's all they know. And they're working on that. Hey, how do I become the best version of me? We started in thankfully in the business world, having a relationship with Dan, with Milet, in our 20s. But for someone who they haven't had that before, or they're starting off young, the age of the successful entrepreneur, I think, is getting younger and younger, thanks to the internet and social media. What are some of those fundamentals to become the best version of you and to be successful in that area?
The number one fundamental is your proximity. Number one fundamental. You are who you hang around with. So if you want to become a better entrepreneur at whatever field you're in, then go hang around those people that are better, doing better than you. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. We're talking about Ed, and let's bring him up for a second. So, having a jet for me was never on my radar, because to me, I'm like, I'll never be that successful to have a jet. Then one day I was at Costco. Ed emails me, goes, Sam, we're going to St. Louis. You're going to St. Louis. Why don't you just come on my jet? And I'm like, oh, cool. So I went to Ed's jet, and he sat down, and Jill was like, Dan was like, Sam, why don't you get a jet? I'm like, Dan, I'm sorry. I said, Ed, I'm not at your level yet. I can't afford a jet. He goes, sure you can. Then he broke it down for me. Then I'm like, wait a second. I can't afford a jet. So my mind was blown. My mind was just opened up to a whole new thing that I never knew that I could even reach. And you can do that in so many aspects of your life, in so many different things. You know what I mean? And so by you, surrounding yourself with bigger fishes,
right,
then you understand what the bigger world is. When I was in Sharon, Pennsylvania, if you drove anything better than a Honda Accord in that town, which there was like one or two cars better than a Honda Accord there, you were the lawyer or you were the doctor in town.
Oh man.
Okay. When I first moved here, drove my little Toyota MR2 across the country. I got to LA. I'm driving. Everybody doing 90. Over there, if you do 65, you go to jail. You know, everybody doing 90, and I see BMWs, Porsches, Bentleys, Mercedes. My mind was blown. I was like, why the hell people can afford that? The first time I went to South Coast Plaza.
Oh yeah.
I first saw South Coast Plaza. I saw a T-shirt for $100. My whole outfit, my whole closet is $100. And I'm going like, people are buying bags and bags of Chanel and bags of Hermes and bags of bags. People going. I remember seeing a guy going to the Rolex store, bought a Rolex for like $20,000, $30,000. I'm looking at him like, I'm like, my mind was blown. But because I came to California, I saw the possibility. If you don't know what the possibility is, then you don't know it exists and you don't know it's reachable. Right. You got to be able to understand there's people out there that are doing what you want to do in a very big way. Mm-hmm. So if they're doing it, so can you.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happened to us, by the way. You know, as you know too, being around Dan, like Dan loves to sell the dream. You know, Dan loves a good life. Yeah. Dan loves the finest things in life. You know, Mylette the same way, but then still so humble at the same time. And Sam, if I'm listening to this right now and I'm going, well, that's what I'm trying to do because all my friends suck. You know, I'm trying to hang out with these guys. I'm trying to hang out with Sam. I want to go train with Sam. But the problem is Sam's focused on his associations and I'm pulling Sam down. So how does someone bring value to the table when they haven't had that success so that they could start to shift those circles?
You can always bring value to the table. You can always bring, I was reading Think and Grow Rich now, I think for the fifth time. Matter of fact, it's right here. Every once in a while I go back and reread the book, and he talked about, the guy who wanted to be a business associate, of Edison. Mm-hmm. And, he was not taking the no. That was his only thing that he wanted to do. Right. And he did everything possible to be his associate. You can go out there and bring value to anyone, but the problem with a lot of people is, especially with social media, they just don't want to bring any value. They just want to be a taker. See, in life, you have something called, relationship equity. We know about financial equity. How much money you have in the house, how much money you have in the bank, how much money. But there's something called relationship equity. And relationship equity is the same thing. If I don't know you from Adam or Eve, and all of a sudden I want to call you and ask, hey man, can you do this for me? I don't know you. I don't like you. I don't trust you. So before you can take a withdrawal from a relationship, you got to deposit into that. You got to build relationship equity. And a lot of people don't understand that. And people, that are higher up, people like Ed, Dan, yourself, people that are doing good in life. We don't mind helping other people. We love helping other people. We genuinely want to, but we don't want to help people that don't want to be helped. Hmm. We don't want what I call like ask holes. You know what I mean? They ask and they ask and they ask. All they do is they get information. They never do anything with it. We want to help people that want to be helped. Nothing is worse than somebody coming here and taking your time and asking questions and don't do nothing about it.
Right.
But if they do something about it and they become a millionaire and help other people, then at least your time was valuable. You made a difference in the guy's life.
I love it. So good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So good. I think the last thing that I'll ask you, and then I'll let Ronnie finish up, Sam, is in people that I've talked to that know you, they all have nothing but positive things to say about you.
Wow, that's pretty good, because I am an asshole at times. You know what I mean? I'm surprised because look, man, in life, for you to get a certain way, you have to have parameters and you have to have like a little way you operate, and sometimes that doesn't mesh with everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay. I came, I've learned in life that if not everybody approved of Jesus,
right?
Not everybody loves Mother Teresa. Not everybody liked Malcolm X, Martin Luther King or Gandhi. So if these figures are not liked by everybody, then I sure as hell I'm not going to fit that because I'm not them.
So funny. Well, let me tell you what was said by one of them. They said, I've learned, and it's a common thing. This is why I respect you so much, Sam. Everyone who I talked to, they said, because I did my research, and they said, I learned so much from him. And to this day, I still apply so much of what I learned. In fact, when I worked with him, I thought he was freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And
I get that a lot.
And he does have an asshole side to him. They said, but he has a big heart. And they said the asshole in him comes out because he cares more about your success than often you care about your own.
Wow. You went deep. You went deep. I don't think anybody has gone that deep, and I'm surprised that even came out because there are a few people, over my lifetime, I think I've so far made around a couple of dozen millionaires. And a lot of them worked for me. And at the time, one thing that I know in life and in business, I'm not willing to lower my standards. I'm just not. I have a certain standards, and I'm not willing to lower my standards for anybody. So sometimes when somebody, tries to get away for something or trying to do something mediocre, I'm just going to call out on them. Like, look, that's not my standards. That's not the way we do things. And at that time, it could ruffle some feathers.
Right.
But later on, when they keep their standards high, guess what? When they go to the real world, they go to a job place or they have their own business and their own thing, guess what? They apply. And then later on, they send me, a few years later, they say, man, Sam, you changed my life. Everything that you taught me, I applied and I became successful. And that to me is a lot more valuable, than somebody saying that to me, than somebody saying, oh man, the guy was an asshole. I'm okay with that. I'm okay to be an asshole, but I'm going to make you a millionaire.
I love that. Yeah, no, that was one of the things that really stood out to me was that. And they said, just his daily rituals, his daily habits, his daily standards, getting up so early. He reads books like crazy. And so I wanted to point that out because before we had even got on here, that was something that I really took away, that I felt like I learned from you, although it didn't come directly from you. But, it's what people say about you, you guys, those of you that are listening, what people say about you when you're gone is really where you could find the lasting impact.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was powerful. And that was something that I really took away.
Yeah. And kind of to piggyback off his question, because you mentioned standards, having high standards. And sometimes that, for lack of a better, statement, it rubs people the wrong way because it doesn't really align with their vision. So, and a lot of questions that we get are around like, hey, like I really want to do this. I really want to be successful. I really want to raise my standards, get to the next level. But the people closest to me, my family, right? My mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, they are not necessarily against it because they care about me, but they want me to settle. They want me to, do X, Y, Z versus take a risk and do this. What advice would you give them? Very
good question. That's such a great, amazing question because we all cross that, don't we? I think everybody crosses that. Nobody crosses that, has crossed that more than me. Because remember, I'm a Persian American. First of all, nobody in my family ever worked out. Nobody in my family ever dieted. I remember the first time I shaved my arms because I was going to do a bodybuilding show. My mom literally cried for a week. She thought her son, I don't know what she thought, but she's like, what? We don't shave our arms. What do you mean? I want you guys to understand this. Whoever's going through this, your family loves you. Your family wants the best for you. It's not like they're doing that to hold you down. They're not. But they just know what they know. And they don't know what they don't know. So the best thing for you to do is stay on your grind, disappear maybe for a little while, work on yourself and work on what you want to do. And when you come back, they see your success and they can't argue with you. They can't argue with you. My mom is, I remember, here's how my mom thinks. My mom, one time I was in the gym and my mom got in a car accident and they called me. And I left the gym like this, shorts and tank top. I rushed to the hospital. My mom is literally about to go to surgery. I walk in with a short and tank top in the hospital. My mom goes, "Why are you dressed like that?" Yeah. I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You're going to be a doctor pretty soon. Why are you dressed like that?" I said, "Mom, I'm not here. I'm not your doctor. I'm not operating on you today. However, I'm here as your son." And so she had that mentality that, okay, this is what you got to do. This is how you got to look and all that kind of stuff. I became a doctor to get my degree, but I didn't want to do what doctors do. I want to open up my gym. She didn't like that. But guess what? Today, when I bought her a house, when I bought her a car, when she don't have to worry about anything, and she says what I do, she's not arguing with me about owning gyms anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so good. I think first of all, that's a great question on your part, because I think the reason most people fail is it's not because they do something wrong that takes them out of business. It's that they quit.
And they can't handle it.
They commit suicide in their business. And it's that approval. People think they need everyone's approval when the reality is they don't. They want approval, but they don't necessarily need it. And so, Sam, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for your time.
Mutually. Everybody listening, follow Sam.
Yes, we'll put all of
social media. We're going to put all his links in there. They're there. But Sam, first, I want to tell you how much we appreciate you, the opportunity. We've learned so much. We came on here to learn, and also just how much respect we have for you. The things that you've been able to do in your career. I know you're just getting started, and so.
Well, I want to learn from you guys next, because I want to know how you guys' relationship and dynamic translates to the empire that you guys are building.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Yes, and this has been an honor. Hey, all of you listening, the best thing you could do is go subscribe to all Sam's content. He puts out nothing but the absolute best. And, he calls it 1% nutrition. But in my mind, Sam, you're the 1% dude. And so we appreciate you, what you do for the community, what you do for the entrepreneurship world, and what you've done for us. So thank you so much, brother. We'll chat with you soon.
Back to you.